Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. I just appreciate everybody watching.
Watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning to everybody, man. Happy Friday. Happy motherfucking Friday. I'm excited, dog. Let me get the music straight right quick. Let's get our music straight. I need my background music going. Hold on. Here we go. I need that. There it is, man. What's going on with y'all? Good morning. Let me go ahead and get into the comments to my bed. Hold on. Hawk. What up, man? What's going on? Good morning to the morning trappers. Sean, appreciate you checking in. Hawk, appreciate you checking in. 757, appreciate you checking in, man. How y'all feeling this morning? Did y'all have issues like me last night complaining with the Amazon Prime thing? I was so frustrated. And you know what's crazy? I had a login last night. I was able to get access to Amazon Prime. I don't have it personally, but I have it in my living room, right? So when I decided to go upstairs for like I think mid third quarter. And in mid third quarter, when I went upstairs, I realized I didn't have the Prime Video upstairs in my room. So I was so frustrated. I missed the whole comeback. So when the Chargers went up 17-7, I missed the whole comeback, bro. I know I missed a good game. Right after the traffic news. What happened? I must have missed it. But yeah, nah, I went upstairs, bro. I was so mad. I didn't even go back downstairs. I was tired as hell. So I was like, I'm gonna watch the rest of the game in my bed. But goddamn, I missed the whole game, bro. I got on YouTube. So mad. So mad, man. I knew it was gonna be a good fourth quarter. That's the crazy thing. But good morning to everybody, man. How y'all feeling about this game this weekend? Detroit and Washington. Yeah, Pat Mahomes, boy, is just different. He is. Like we asked the question yesterday, and the more I think about it, I still think my answer is the same. But what is this? Okay, I still think my answer is the same. But ultimately, I had asked the question like, is it important? Like, is this a must-win for Washington this weekend? Right? Oh, I stopped doing Prime when I realized Amazon has the same prices or higher than anybody else now. I think I'm gonna have to cop Prime because I can't. If I get tired again, bro, I can't just go up to I can't stay down in the living room, bro. Like I need that versatility, bro. Sometimes I don't like I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, and I don't kick my feet up until I go to bed. Like I can't just sit on the couch, bro. Like sometimes I'll be trying to kick my feet up and relax a little bit. So I think I'm gonna have to just purchase Prime because I do got Amazon. I just don't have Prime Video or none of that stuff. So I may just have to cop. I ain't gonna lie to you. Cause I ain't with the workarounds, bro. It's just such an inconvenience. Like, and then somebody said this morning, he said, man, y'all might as well start getting ready to make these fake accounts and get these emails going. I'm like, bruh, that is the definition of inconvenient. Like, why would I have to do that? Why do I want to do that just for free 30-day services? I don't care that much for Amazon Prime to start making all these fake emails just so I can have a 30-day free trial. I don't need none of that. I don't need none of that. So to the question, and I think Jamie Davis actually, I think that's a really good conversation to start with. Fire Stick is undefeated. I love it. That's actually where Amazon, that's what I use for my TV now. Like I don't have cable. I use YouTube TV through Amazon Fire Sticks. But like I said, I still think my answer is the same. I don't think this is a must win, but I do think like the perception is what's most important for Washington. When you face a team like Jacksonville and you win, I mean, it don't matter how you win. You start off 1-0. It's a great opportunity throughout the week to clean up whatever mistakes that you had, right? And we're going to talk about some things with Jamin Davis. So I have some. I've never finished the full film session for the defense. And I'm not going to go into like too far. Like I'm not going to drag the film session out too long today. But I do want to show some things in terms of like what mistakes that they need to clean up, right? Yeah, in theory, bro, workaround is easy. Like they're easy. Like you can just go on the internet, find a website, and you'll be good, right? So the workarounds itself are easy, but it's tedious, bro. And then sometimes you get the ads pop-ups that you don't want to deal with. Sometimes if you have to watch it on a laptop, like what if you want to watch it on your TV? You got a 70-inch TV and you can't watch it on your TV because you have to watch it on your laptop. Or if you want to watch it on your TV, you got to do the connect thing, the mirroring or whatever. And sometimes everybody's laptop don't have that. Or what if you just have an iPad? Like it's just some things that pops up into my head that makes certain things inconvenience. But going back to the game, Jacksonville, you beat them during the week. You got some things that you need to clean up. A lot of things that you need to clean up. But overall, like if you don't take care of business throughout the week, I think the thing is like Detroit, it's a copycat league. And coaches over there in Detroit are going to see the same things that I saw, but they're going to break down things into even further detail that I can't even explain to you all. Like I'm not even at that level yet. So I think that this week is all the more important, and to avoid a letdown, it's going to be really important for that defense to shore up some of the gaps and mistakes that they had in coverage. And even in the run game as well. I think the linebackers had issues at times, really filling gaps and gap assignment. Jacksonville, credit to them, they did a good job getting them out of their gaps with like some motions and things like that. But ultimately, discipline is most important, right? But let me go ahead and get back to Jamin Davis, and that's why I say this week is important. I don't think that it's a must win, but I do think perception is what ultimately carries over into week 3. If you aren't a team that's 2-0 after you facing Jacksonville and Detroit at the end of the day, like nobody is sitting here threatened by Detroit on paper. Like these are games where you put yourself in position to win and where you should win. So perception, if you're going to see that Philly game 1-1 versus 2-0, it's a major difference. And then on top of that, the fan engagement, it doesn't drastically decrease. It doesn't decrease, and it may even still be like at a good level. But the intensity from the fan base, knowing that you're coming off a 2-0 start and you have a divisional matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles in week 3, the perceived NFC East favorites, the leading favorites now that the Dallas Cowboys have lost Dak for a few weeks. Like that's what makes Detroit important from a perception standpoint. You can't lose to Detroit and expect the perceived thing like to take you serious. So that's what's most important. Jamin Davis, I liked what I saw from Jamin Davis in the preseason, right? And I think the one thing that went unnoticed or maybe under-mentioned is that while I like Jamin Davis, I did understand that he didn't have that many exposures to, what he was seeing in the preseason, right? So you're not getting a ton of looks, a ton of reps to see if he's really playing at a high level, right? He is playing faster, but is he playing at a high level? Like, you got to understand where Jamin Davis started, he started down here. Like, even competent linebacker play is probably like up here. This is where he started. So, like, is he right here or is he above that threshold? And I think Jamin Davis is probably like at that level of competent linebacker play. But after that, and the point being is, when Jack Del Rio said what he said yesterday, I think what hurt him is the fact that he probably expected more out of him. He probably expected him to continue to ascend, and for him to really have that issue on Sunday, or this past Sunday, where he struggled in both the pass game and run game. You kind of wonder, like, what exactly I expected more out of you. And I think the thing is, for me, you got to think of what it took for Jack Del Rio to say it. I understand that people thought that Jack Del Rio was wrong, and I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong for thinking that. But I think if that relationship allows for Jack Del Rio to be honest in the media, then I think Jamin Davis is probably one who isn't too bothered by somebody saying that to him, especially if they had a conversation about, if he said the same thing to Jamin Davis behind closed doors, then I think it was different or okay for him to say it in public. It just depends on how their relationship is. He did single him out last year. They did a good job from an overall standpoint protecting a lot of their players. And I think AJ made a good point this week. Now, the situations are different, but Carson Wentz being protected by the team, from the head coach to the president, the team president, I think that their situation is a little bit different. Like, given that Carson Wentz has been beaten up by the media on numerous occasions, and then he's had sources, anonymous sources, talk down on him. And then you have the owner in Indianapolis really had issues with him and things like that. I think that stuff, like, you don't want your new team contributing to accountability, like that public accountability, and feeding into a narrative that may not be healthy for Carson. And on top of that, is Carson the guy who can handle that public criticism? We don't know. Like, that's why I'm saying their situations are different. So it is interesting. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong for thinking that Jack Del Rio was wrong. Like, it is what it is, bro. That's a tricky subject, man. Sometimes those players, they feed into it, man, and it's a challenge for them. Let's go ahead and catch up with some of the comments, and then we'll talk about some of the issues that I saw from the Washington defense, and some things that they need to shore up. Kind of disagree, not necessarily a good look, but also neither on Jack Del Rio. Yeah, but this man, they drafted this man and didn't do anything all season to improve the linebacker position, and that part is also true too. Remember, we have said it for a long period of time. They chose not to address the linebacker position, where Ron Rivera said as soon as the season ended, we need a middle linebacker. They needed a Mike linebacker, and not even a week, if not 2 weeks, had passed until they said, we're going to change our mind and we're going to stick with Cole Holcomb. So to 757's point, hell yeah, this is all a situation in which they brought on themselves. Now, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that I do think the comments from Jack Del Rio yesterday, it's surprising, but I think they're overblown. I don't think that it's an indictment on how, like, if they think that Jamin Davis is a bad player. I don't think that's an indication of somebody saying that somebody's a bad player. So it's all about how Jamin Davis bounces back. But to 757's point, they chose not to improve the linebacker position from an acquisition standpoint. They chose to rock with Cole Holcomb, David Mayo, and Jamin Davis. They didn't bring in a perceived bring in a perceived upgrade. They chose against it. Del Rio didn't say shit about how his scheme is trash. Them ads a bitch if you try and watch it. yeah, about the fire stick. I expect Jack Del Rio to ascend with that defensive line we have. If you're not putting everybody under the spotlight, don't do it to a 2-year pro that was drafted way before he should have. Look, it's valid, bro. It's valid. And that's kind of where I get to the accountability side. Like, what has Del Rio said about his performance, meaning his coaching ability, his in-game adjustments and things like that? What has he said about that? But also, what has he said to the other players as well? And putting the spotlight on him in particular. Like, sometimes it can be political too. Like, are you going to speak on Kendall Fuller or William Jackson III, who had some rough outings? Are you going to speak about them in public and if they should have been better or if they're struggling, things like that? Are like 757's point. It's about selective situations. But again, like I said, I understand that side. My side is we just don't know their relationship. Is there anyone else he should have singled out? On the defensive side of the football, shit, he could have singled out Cole Holcomb. But I think here's the important part too. Like, the question was about Jamin Davis. So that's another thing that I should have mentioned from the beginning. The question was about Jamin Davis. So that's why he brought it up. That's why he talked about Jamin. That's another part. And I can bring up the quotes right now. Matter of fact, let's hear it. It's gonna be better if we hear it. Let's hear it. Hold on 1 second. About to find it right now. Let me see. All right, found the account. Where is the quote? Where is the quote? Why is this August? What in the world? Jack Dale.
Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
My bad, y'all. I'm trying to find the quote. I almost said it for a second. Now I gotta. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. Boom. All right. Let's go ahead and show the quote or play the quote. I'm gonna turn my mic down. I see some of the comments too. My bad. I'm gonna get to y'all. But let's go ahead and get to the quote right quick. Share the screen. Twitter. Make sure that audio is playing.
Dak, just curious your thoughts on Jamin Davis on the first game, particularly in pass coverage.
Jamin was just okay in the game. I think he practiced better throughout the offseason. I mean, it was just a so-so performance. I think he'll do better as the year goes on.
Dak, just curious your thoughts on Jamin Davis.
That's not the only comment that he had too. So I'm glad I found this one. He had more about the conversation. So that's the first part, right? He just thought he was so-so. And then here is the here's the 51 seconds. Here we go. All right, there we go. Stop sharing it. Make sure everything good on my side. Let's get back to the music because I need that thing right quick. All right. So that was Jack. That was the full quotes and information from Jack Del Rio, right? So we heard everything that he said. And then even what's his name? Matt Parrish followed up and said, you usually don't necessarily call out players with us. And he said it's okay, like it's perfectly fine. Ultimately, they did say that, this was a discussion between Del Rio and Jamin Davis. Like they had a discussion. But yeah, like you heard, like we all heard, it is what it is. He talked about it. And he was asked about Jamin Davis. Rob, appreciate you checking in. Good morning, and good morning to everybody that's just checking in, man. If you are new to the Trap or Die podcast, as always, man, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check in if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Good morning to everybody. And talk to us, man. What's some of your keys for, Washington win in Detroit? And things like that. We are about to transition into some of the film on the defensive side of the football, some more things where I think that they need to, gather together, or maybe some issues that I think Detroit can really exploit too. That's probably from a skill set standpoint that Washington really can't overcome. From a skill set standpoint. But anyway, appreciate that, man. Trap or Dive. Because look, if you know, you know, right? Let's go and get that play on words and things like that. I like doing those things. But nah, thank you. Appreciate you, Rob. My boy Tag, appreciate you checking in. Good morning to you, man. Hope all is well. Good morning, dog. So, for people that even understand the basics of football, definitely. Sam Mills, Del Rio scapegoat. Now it's Jamin. Hey, I told y'all 1,000 times. I think Sam Mills is definitely a scapegoat. Ron Rivera did not want to fire him. I think that it came down to either the players or the coaches, if not both. I heard it was plays where Jamin was covering Christian Kirk. I was at the game, so I couldn't see everything. Is there a better way to at or mention someone in chat? I have yet to use YouTube Live. I don't know. I'm not that well versed on YouTube either. Like, I started this thing on Twitch. And then shit happened. So I don't know either. And then I just chose to expand that reach. I just think he should have kept in-house and said what he usually says. I'm not going to get into details. He should have left it with that first comments. Keys would be forcing more turnovers. Also got to keep the passing attempts up. Love how much we threw on first down. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into, where is it at? Let's start with Jamin Davis. Commanders defense. Let me expand this. All right, there we go. All right. Foul. Detroit versus Jacksonville. Let's start with the first one. All right. So, how am I going to do this? No, this is right. And then remove the comment. Start here. So I think this is where it actually started with Jamin Davis. So if you can't see it, Jamin Davis is obviously aligned between Daron Payne and what looks like James Smith-Williams, and obviously the running back Travis Etienne is to Trevor Lawrence is right. We'll go ahead and play it and talk about the first part that Jamin Davis had issue with. Obviously he gets beat, but I think the first thing that Ron Rivera spoke of before Jack Del Rio even spoke, it wasn't that Jamin Davis can't cover Travis Etienne. Jamin Davis can run with a lot of people, but here's two things that hurt him. First part, right there. So Washington, I think this was a cover one situation for Washington, but or maybe even cover three, but I lean cover. I think it's cover one. I don't remember. I'm trying to figure this out now too. Sometimes red zone coverages confuse me sometimes because it's not always like a true, like sometimes they just match, and things like that. Anyway, point being, when they talk about leverage, Jamin Davis should be on the outside of Travis Etienne. Like, stay outside, right? He stopped a little bit too early, where he should be further towards the hashes, towards the numbers, excuse me, not the hashes. He should be further towards the numbers of Etienne, right? Because you have Derek Forrest on the inside. That's your help right there. And there's too much space on the outside for you to really give up that outside leverage. So you have to maintain that outside leverage and stay in position. That's the first part. But then the second thing is, let's go ahead and run it back. What also hurt Jamin Davis was not just leverage. He stopped moving his feet. Travis Etienne never stops moving his feet. So anytime you stop your momentum, you're going to lose. So it was a couple of things. He stops his feet right here, and that gets him beat. He blows right past him. So I'll run it back or run the whole thing. And that gets past him right there. So for Jamin, that was the first instance where you're like, from a coaching standpoint, stay outside, understand where your help is, because if you get beat inside, look where Derek Forrest is, look where Cole Holcomb is. Cole Holcomb, I think, is walling. He's taking anything vertically. So as you're being that inside defender, you're helping out your safeties and you're helping out that back end. So Cole Holcomb is there with the inside help. I didn't mean to start it over. My bad, y'all. Cole Holcomb is there with the inside help. That's what he's walling. He's taking anything over top. And then you have Derek Forrest as well, taking anything inside. So why is Jamin Davis not further outside? He needs to get outside. And your feet needs to keep moving. So that was the first thing where he stopped his feet. He got beat. But overall, he should have kept things moving. So that was the first thing. Yeah, I could do this on Twitch like nothing. I'm just trying to be a better chatter. At the end of the day, man, I appreciate you checking in, dog. I remember I would be that one dude on Twitch. Yes. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to the next Jamin Davis leverage situation. Dealing with, I think this is where Christian Kirk comes into play. Actually, it was a couple things. It wasn't just Christian Kirk. Let's go to the running back part, and then we'll get to Christian Kirk. Another one right here. Now, this one, I'm going to play it, but I don't think this was all on Jamin Davis. Like, I watched this one play about 20 times, yo. I'm not lying to you. But we'll run it. So that's the big play over the middle where Travis Etienne makes that play, right? So let's get it running one more time. Now, I think this was a 3-match, if not cover 4, but I think it was a 3-match. So what happened? I'm sorry, I got distracted. So ultimately, Jamin Davis, right? You can see him transition to go vertically. Like, he's going to take Etienne. But what happens here is he has that tap on his back. And at the end of the day, it shouldn't have stopped Jamin Davis from chasing Travis Etienne. But there's two things. One, Benjamin St-Juste set a pick on him, an accidental pick. But then secondly, what I think happened on this play is that Jamin Davis also, when he set that pick, he probably thought that that tap meant I'm going to, like, the person who tapped him, I'm going to take Travis Etienne. So a couple things happened. He got picked, but also that tap probably stopped him for a second because he's like, all right, I'm gonna sit on Kirk for a second. So that's what that was. That small hesitation, you just saw it. That's what that was. He stops for a second and then he goes to chase down Etienne, but it's too late. So that's the first thing. Another thing where I think that probably his coaches would say, I would probably more so give him a negative grade because first of all, I think Jamin, this one was just weird. Cause like also while he's going vertically, wouldn't Benjamin St-Juste get under Jamin Davis too? Like it's something that I can't explain because I don't know exactly what Ben St-Juste was thinking as well. So I don't know. And the best part about, like, from my perspective is that I can see some things, but I can also tell you, I don't know, like, coverages are hard in the NFL. And I will never, like, understanding exactly what they would do on a particular play from a coverage standpoint. Obviously, shells help you. Like, this is a 3-shell, cover 3 situation. And it also could be cover 1 as well. It just depends on the down and distance. But when you see this, right, and you just see that happens, that small glimpse, that small mistake, like, this is another thing that Detroit can look into and figure out, how can we get Jamin Davis in conflict, and how can we get the cornerbacks on the move in conflict? Like, how does that happen? But back to the coverage thing, like, sometimes you just never know exactly for 100% certainty what is going on. And you'll get that from me. I ain't going to tell you like I know everything, because these communications are a little bit different, and you'll see that as we continue to move forward. Appreciate you, Sean. Let's go ahead and get to another one. We got a couple Jamin Davis instances where I'm sure that they were pissed off. Okay, so that was one with ETN. Let's get back to Christian Kirk now. Where is it at? All right, there we go. All right, so this is in a 2-minute situation, 2-minute drive, heading while Jacksonville is driving. So let's go ahead and remove a couple of these things. I'm glad I got these numbered now. That first one was a headache trying to figure out all the plays. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and run it. But obviously, actually, I'm sorry, I messed up at the snap. Obviously, what you see in here, you have 2 linebackers on the field, and you have two. I think it's a 4-2-5. Sorry, 5 DBs. So already in this situation, Jamin Davis is locked up with a slot receiver, and the thing is, how do you prevent that moving forward, right? Detroit ran a lot of 11 personnel against the Philadelphia Eagles. So while you have 11 personnel here, I think the tight end, I don't know where the tight end is. I can't see it right here, but I would imagine, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. All right. So I would imagine, I think Evan Ingram's at the top of the screen. But anyway, 11 personnel, point being, and what I'm saying is, I think other ways you can mitigate this is maybe do like a 5-1-5 look, where you have just one linebacker on the field, or maybe even a 4-1-6, like having that Buffalo nickel situation, right? So you can eliminate these situations, and that's, I think, why Cam Curl is pretty important. But back to the point here, Jamin Davis is lined up with the slot receiver, and that's not what you want. And that's, again, why Cam Curl is going to be important for this defense. You can have situations where Jamin Davis necessarily isn't in position to cover Christian Kirk. And maybe even for Washington, you could have had 4-1-6 here and had Percy Butler on Christian Kirk, or Bobby McCain on Christian Kirk, and had Percy Butler as a post safety. Like, you could have had options here. So when you talk about the scheme standpoint, I think that's what Ron Rivera said after the game. Like, how are you having Jamin Davis matched up on Christian Kirk in these situations? I wish he wasn't in position to do that. But now we get to the play, and we'll show you everything else from there. So you saw what happened. Now this is a cover 4 situation, right? Or cover 3, I'm sorry. It was a late rotation from Derek Forrest, cover 3 situation, where the safety drops down. But now look where the safety is. And in theory, again, look where Cole Holcomb is. So as you see where Derek Forrest is, right? And you see where Cole Holcomb is, right? They have the middle of the field. The middle of the field is closed. That's what people mean, like middle of the field open, middle of the field closed. Middle of the field is closed, and you have the single high over top. Why is Jamin Davis playing the inside? You need to be outside of Christian Kirk. Anything that, if he beats you inside, it's a win. You have help inside. You have to know what your leverage is and where your help is. I mean, Christian Kirk is a damn good receiver, but you help yourself out by playing the right technique, and you have to trust your help is going to be where they need to be. You also have to trust that if I stay outside, I'm not going to get beat. I'm an athlete. I'm a dog. You're not going to beat me outside if I maintain my leverage and I trust my technique. So, again, let's run it one more time. You have your inside help, so you give up a first down or damn near 9 yards on one play, and they're trying to figure out why are we having issues in coverage. You're playing Christian Kirk first and foremost, but you're also not helping yourself out. What's going on, Hawk? Our linebackers had some tough matchups over the next 2 weeks. Yep, DeAndre Swift is up next. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who plays majority in the slot, he's going to have some matchups against Jamin Davis, or maybe some looks against Jamin Davis if they don't adjust. And that's what I'm saying, where I broke this one down. This formation, when you're in 11 personnel like this, you need to have, maybe this is where that Buffalo nickel comes into place. You got your 4 down linemen, you got your 1 linebacker in Cole Holcomb, and then you have Cam Curl or Percy Butler checking Christian Kirk. And for this week, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So let's go get to the next one. We saw that one. I'll continue with a couple of other instances. Is this number 3? Where is V3? Yeah, another cover 3 situation. All right, here we go. You'll see it again. Same thing, same exact thing. So I'm not even going to explain it. Just take everything into context, right? Cover 3 situation. Look where your help is. Where's your help? Inside. You have inside help. So why are you inside when you have inside help? And I think this was a 3rd down too. Outside, stay outside. You got inside help. And now you get a 1st down conversion. Christian Kirk almost scores. I'm not even going to break down anything else with this one. You saw exactly where Jamin Davis should be. Derek Ford is about to earn his money. Yeah, for sure, he definitely is. I'm also think that I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know how Derek Forrest earned a 90 grade from PFF. The more I watch this defense, Derek Forrest was out of position on a couple plays too. And he gave up a couple catches. So I'm like, how did he earn a 90 grade? I think that was way overblown after watching it. Just being honest, I'm not saying he had a bad game. Just understand that part. I'm not saying he had a bad game, but I'm like, how did he earn a 90 grade? All right, let me go ahead and get to, I think that was number 3. Did I have more with Jamin Davis? No. I think that was it with Jamin, but there are still some more issues that we had. But I do want to break up the issues with one of these things. Now, Sean, I know we talked about briefly on Twitter the coverage, right? It was a good creeper cover 2 coverage from Washington, right? You had asked about John Common said, a 4-man pressure versus 7-man front or 7-man offensive line, right? This is the play that he's talking about. And this is a really good call. And I don't want to make it seem like this is all on, players sometimes. Like schemes work out well. This is a good thing. This is a good one right here. And I'll play it and then we'll run it back. But this is a good play. And I like how they disguise throughout the week or throughout the game, excuse me. So what you're seeing here is a cover 2, true cover 2. And I showed this on Wednesday too, to be honest with you, but I'm just replaying it for Sean right quick. But obviously what you see here, you have your 2 safeties. This is exactly what it looked like. You have your 2 safeties or 2 cornerbacks rushing the edge, both of them wins. And then you have your 2 interior defensive linemen dropping in the coverage, Daniel Wise, Jonathan Allen, replacing that. So you have your cover 2 here. And in theory, Jacksonville has people open, but the pressure hits home and Trevor Lawrence isn't able to see him. So that's what that looks like. A creeper blitz, good cover 2, and then play mitigated right there. So that was that quick little breakdown, but back to the issues. Where we at? Let's do communication. I'm trying to figure out which part should we start with, like the coverage or the run game. Let's do the coverage, I guess. Let's continue with the coverage. Blown coverage in the red zone. So again, red zone defenses are kind of tricky. You don't really truly know exactly what they're supposed to be doing, but you kind of saw what happened from the beginning. How do you leave Christian Kirk uncovered? It doesn't matter. Like, do you think that Christian Kirk is really staying in the block? And for those who don't know, Christian Kirk is 13, so he's right by Montez Sweat at the bottom of the screen. Do you really think that Christian Kirk is staying in the block? Their highest paid receiver. Do you think that he's staying in the block? So I look at Cole Holcomb in this play. Look at that. If he just stayed in the pocket for a quick second, you got Christian Kirk open for a touchdown. So when you talk about mistakes from the defense, these are things that they have to clean up, because Detroit is looking at this tape and saying we have opportunity because these linebackers and secondary ain't really on shit right now. Like, this is easy work for them. And that's why I think personally that it can be a shootout. It can be a shootout. So again, you got one person covering Will. I don't know where William Jackson is supposed to be. But Benjamin St-Juste is at the bottom of your screen. You see him pressing Marvin Jones and sending him towards the sideline, taking him out of the route and making sure that, you know, Benjamin St-Juste, this is what having good leverage looks like. He's not letting him get inside. And then the route is covered as well. So you got two people on Marvin Jones in somewhat of a bracket situation. Evan Ingram is somewhat covered. Bobby McCain bites, but he's somewhat covered. But ultimately, you leave Christian Kirk, the best receiver on the team, in the flats, wide open. So somebody was supposed to be out there in the flats. And my guess, personally, it's either Ben or it's Cole. It's either Ben or it's Cole. And maybe the key for Ben was to see if 13 went vertically or 13 went towards him. But that's the only thing I can think of. I know Bobby is supposed to be back deep. And the only other person I can think of is Cole. Cole was a little bit too antsy. I think he saw 13 chip and said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get my depth. But 13 is Christian Kirk. Come on now, bro. 13 is Christian Kirk. I'm almost done too, y'all. And we could talk a little bit about the Detroit game and things like that. Sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. That's how I got the 90 rating. I don't think we talked about this on Twitter. It might have been something else. Okay. Bars, more than trappers. Dan Campbell is a former tight end, so he's no encouraging golf to eat the underneath when it's available. Another thing too. So let's go ahead and get to Forrest and McCain. Now this one was a drop, I think, but we'll see. I can't remember. Yeah, this was a drop. Oh, sorry, it was a poor throw. Let me be more clear. It was a poor throw. It was a terrible throw. I think he was anticipating Christian Kirk to sit, but So what you're saying here, yes, he's wide open, right? But what's even more of a problem, look at Bobby and look at Derek. This is what we need to do, how to break it down piece by piece. We're going to start with Bobby and Derek, and then we'll get back to Christian Kirk. Right there. So the way they play their defense, and a lot of teams in the NFL play their defense, they do communicate mid-play. Like, communication is always important. But this is a late signal to Derek Forrest over the middle. You're giving up that much space, and you're signaling late to take him. And what this does, from a man concept standpoint, this is a cover one situation. But when this communication happens, Bobby McCain replaces Derek Forrest as the single high. But you can't, it's hard to, like, they caught a break here, but it's hard to communicate that late and expect the big play not to happen. You already given them so much space. So at this point, what I'm saying is, if I'm Bobby McCain, I'm committing to this. I'm not going to pass it off to Derek. Look where Derek is. His depth, he's not going to make up the space in a matter of an instant. Like, Bobby just has to commit. If he communicates late, they catch a break because Trevor Lawrence is inaccurate. That's the only thing that happens. They communicate. I mean, it doesn't communicate. So that's kind of what that looks like. Having those issues. Again, this is another way in which Detroit can challenge them and see if that communication is on point. It's always about testing these guys. Like, you see the trends defensively. If you're Detroit as an offense, you see the trends defensively and where you can create stress on a team. And you're going to do the exact same thing that Jacksonville did, except for you're going to execute when you get these opportunities. So that's, again, I'll run it live and you can kind of see the separation, just the natural separation and what it should have did. So that's one thing, missed opportunity. So when we saw the pick on TV, when we saw the almost pick, we thought that it was a good play made, right? Christian Kirk just dropped it, but also Trevor Lawrence had a bad pass. It should have been a completion. We got a couple more. Where is we talked about Holcomb, leverage, creeper. Oh yeah, this one was bad. This one was bad. I'm gonna just let it run and we're gonna talk about it after. And I'm gonna ask you if you caught it. Matter of fact, yeah, let's go ahead and run it. I know you saw it. I know you saw it. So, another cover 3 look from Washington. This is more of a cover 3 match now. So what you're seeing is, let's go ahead and run it. End of the day, William Jackson has anybody that goes vertically. So we don't even have to worry about the coverage on the other side. It's more so about what William Jackson's side is doing. William and Derek Forrest. Derek Forrest sees the guy coming out late, Evan Ingram. It's Evan Ingram, done deal. I think that's Evan Ingram, yeah. But now you have a situation. You have a situation with William Jackson, right? Now you're seeing William Jackson in his back pedal and his stance. Like he has the right leverage. But what who is that? 11? Yeah. Is that 11? I think that is Zay Jones. Yeah, Zay Jones is there. Now what Zay Jones does, he eats up William Jackson's cushion like that. Like that's how quickly he eats up that cushion. So for William Jackson to really be threatened like that, like look at his back pedal. Like he's already in position, but he gets high out of his stance. His man turn isn't that good, or his own turn. Like the back pedal is the problem. And if you can threaten William Jackson like that, I'm sure that they're looking at DJ Chark and saying, hey, we got opportunity against William Jackson. Like he don't look too comfortable back there. So ultimately what I'm saying here is, obviously Bobby McCain is up there, but how can you manipulate Bobby? Like what they're going to try to figure out is, how can we get a one-on-one situation with William Jackson III, and how can we get the safety Bobby McCain flowing to the other side so we can create space for DJ Chark? Because DJ Chark is their ex. DJ Chark is going to align on the outside, and DJ Chark is going to have those opportunities to really stress the defense with speed. So for Washington, we still had a safety deep that was in position, but Detroit is going to try and figure out how can they isolate their best route runner, if not DJ Chark, who has the speed to blow past William Jackson if he can set him up on a move like Marvin Jones and get past him like that. So for William, I think that he had good leverage. He was able to maintain the space from a discipline standpoint. But when it came time to actually getting on his horse, transitioning and getting ready to fly with Marvin or Zay Jones, like that wasn't it. Zay Jones did an excellent job, again, eating the cushion up, gave him a pressure step, and exploded right past him. Like that was really good on the receiver as well. But when it comes to William Jackson being that high in your turn, and then also not not trusting yourself. Look at your hips. His hips is moving all over the place. You're not going to be able to keep up with a lot of people when your hips are manipulated like that. Zay Jones had that man turned inside out. Couldn't keep up. And he knows it. He knew it. He knew it. Because I don't understand him. Yeah, I know. Now, look, so I'm talking about I know what you had mentioned. We didn't talk about it on Twitter, but you had asked if I was going live. I was making sure that I showed you the play with that we was talking about with John Keim. That's what I mentioned. My bad, y'all. I think it's definitely gonna be a shootout, but it depends on if we can shoot. Yeah, DJ Chark is a burner. You can't pass up on that in short field. All right, so here we go. I think I have a couple more, and then we go ahead and get to Detroit. But yeah, this defense, man, it's full of opportunities for Detroit Lions offense. Like if I'm looking at these guys, I'm saying we got opportunity. We got a ton of opportunity. That was coverage. Holcomb. Oh Lord. We talked about the miscommunication. Blown front side. Here we go. Now, Jacksonville had a couple good rush games, right? Rush plays, right? I mean, I think one of the scariest ones that I saw was this one right here. The run game itself, a couple of people out of position, especially at the linebacker spot. I mean, run support. But here we go. All right, so yeah, my bad. Forgot about this part. This is the biggest part right there. Right here. Now I'm going to rewind it and we'll start from the top. Right? But this is the biggest part right here. Nothing but daylight. No run support from the second level. So what happens here, you'll see it. The jet sweep. You got the jet sweep look with the right person. I think that's the running back. That's the second running back. With the right person, you get the defense shifting, but then at the snap, you fake the jet sweep, you pitch it to ETN. So what this does, it puts stress on the second level, and this is all the intention for this play is to clear that second level out because you're given a pin pull type of situation on the left side, and the pin pull is essentially, you'll see it. Let's break it down piece by piece, and then we'll get back to the second level. You see the receiver at the top of the screen. You see the tight end next to the receiver. At this moment that I'm breaking this down, the tight end that I'm speaking on, because I know you can't see my mouse that I'm moving. He is right in front of the guy in motion. So look at those two players, the receiver and the tight end. Well, the tight end fucked up. But the receiver pins Bobby McCain. Casey Toohill gets let go. He's free. But you pin Bobby McCain, and now you have a one-on-one on the outside with Cam Robinson and a defensive back. And now you have Benjamin St-Juste over Pursuit, right? But in theory, he would still be in position now that we got the pin pull out of the way if Cole Holcomb understood where the ball was. Now let's go. Now that we got the front line out of the way, let's get back to the issue at hand. Is the second level support. Cole Holcomb is still running. At this point, where Cole Holcomb, look at it. At this point where Cole Holcomb realizes that was a fake, ETN is already cutting up field. Like, Cole Holcomb is completely out of the play. Jamin Davis completely out of the play. Now he has nothing but DBs to beat. And there's a one-on-one situation with Cam Robinson and a defensive back. So let's get back to it. The issue is the misdirection. Jamin Davis is doing the right thing initially. Like, he's supposed to be there in the event that it is a jet sweep. Like, he's there. He's in good position. But it's Cole Holcomb who's more so responsible of quickly understanding where the ball is. So he didn't see the fake. He got fooled. He got put out of place completely. There is nobody on the second level to help defend this run. And that's how you get upfield, and that's how you gain as much yards as you do. So thank God it wasn't a house call, but that was a well-executed play from the Jacksonville Jaguars. But also the fact that the second level can be exposed to that degree to where Cole Holcomb is 2 seconds into the play before he realizes that it's a fake. Guess who's wondering how they can take advantage of Washington in that second level? Detroit. Detroit. So yeah, that's that. And then one last play. So this happened on several occasions, but it wasn't always on Cole. Like, there was other instances where some players messed up, but this one I think is more to do about Cole. Reminder, Washington has always been a gap scheme defense or excuse me, that's it, gap scheme, single gap. So they're a one gap defense, and what that means is, most times, 9 times out of 10, you're responsible for a gap. So in this instance, you have the perfect setup here. You have James Smith-Williams, Deron Payne, both responsible for a gap. James is responsible for what would be the C gap if somebody was there, but he's uncovered in a sense. Daniel Wise is the front side, one tech. He's responsible for the A gap. And then you have, I can't see who that is on the edge. I can't see. I don't know what number it is, but the edge rusher on the right side is responsible for the C gap. And then you have Jamin Davis on the outside. So everybody is in a gap, but Cole Holcomb has the front side A gap of where this play would be. So essentially he's between the center and the guard. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and play. So as the play moves, understand where his gap is. He's supposed to be in between the center and the guard. In between the center and the guard. Obviously, with Deron Payne being double teamed, his gap replaced. So in theory, he's supposed to be now between Deron Payne and Daniel Wise as he flows towards the ball. But he doesn't have run support either. Like, there's no defensive backs near the line of scrimmage. So now he's out of position. He also didn't have help. Cole Holcomb didn't. So he's left to defend 2 gaps. And that leaves the running back to cut up the field. So for me, man, it was a rough day defensively, but I think what Washington did throughout the game was create pressure. Again, they were I think they were a top 5 pressure team in the NFL in week 1. They created constant pressure, and they were able to really help this defense out and help this team out by getting havoc and forcing bad passes from Trevor Lawrence and getting home and hitting him and rattling him. So I think that Washington's front 4, I think that they did a really good job. In front 5 on occasions, I think that they really did a really good job. But ultimately, when it comes to a collective standpoint, the coverage has to get better. And then also that second level, man, I think that the linebackers, especially Jamin Davis, obviously in coverage is one thing, right? But Cole Holcomb, understanding his keys, having instincts, man, because you can't look that lost on the second level, especially as a Mike backer, bruh. You getting full like that and not being in a play. I don't even call it that. That's not even above average play. Like, I know it happens sometimes, right? But to that extent, it's problematic to get full that badly, and get out of space. So that's kind of where I'm at with the defense, man. There's going to be a ton of opportunities for Detroit, and that's why I'm concerned about how they'll be able to really fix these. Well, I think that they could fix it, and I think it's a good thing that you're facing a Detroit Lions team, because they're not one of the better teams in the NFL. I think they're better than Jacksonville, but you have an opportunity to correct these things early and quickly. But when you face a team like Detroit, I think that they're fairly capable of taking advantage of the plays that Jacksonville did not. Again, appreciate everybody checking in. We are about to open up the show, man. I didn't got distracted, my bad for a second. But appreciate y'all checking in. If you are new to the Trap or Die, man, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new. Truly appreciate it. I will be opening up the show to everybody now. Talk to me. What are your keys to a Washington win? This reminds me of how the Peyton Manning coach with the high-powered offense, but slim to no defense, being able to protect leads. Dakota, I need you to relax, bro. Why are you getting all antsy? But yeah, if you are new to the Trap or Die podcast, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Either way, do appreciate you checking in. I'm opening the floor up to everybody, anybody and everybody that wants to join the show, talk about their keys to a Washington W against the Detroit Lions, anything and everything, all the things Commanders. You talk to me and let me know what you got going on on that side of the ball, or I said that side of the ball, that week. There's a couple things in the meantime that we can discuss, right? Good morning, Dakota. Relax. Where are we at? My bad. Here we go. He would be forcing more turnovers. Also got to keep the passes up. love how much we threw on first down. Give me 2 seconds to pull up. Because Washington did have a good day on first down for the most part. Boom. Down at distance. I'm gonna pull up something. Give me 2 seconds. All right. Boom.
Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
Yeah, so Washington first down pass, they had 61%. They threw it on first down. So they had 33 first downs. Not accumulated first downs. They just had 33 like where they had a first down. Obviously starting off a drive or something like that, right? Or accumulating the first down in the drive. They threw it 61% of the time. So they threw it pretty often, and they had a good tendency. Like after a run, they threw it 78% of the time, and after a pass, they threw it 66% of the time as well. So that was interesting. I think that they did a really good job on second down as well, helping themselves out and all that stuff. So really good situation that you mentioned, right? Being able to throw it on first down and keep throwing on first down. I think the pass attempts is going to be important, but I think what's going to be critical is how Washington handles the pressure up front. Now, there were some things that I didn't show. No, I did. I think I did show it. Wednesday. How Carson Wentz was able to protect his offensive line. But yeah, let me go ahead and get the boy Hawk in this thing right quick. We can talk about some more things specifically about that front and how Washington is going to have to protect it a little bit better. But hold on, let's get the good man Hawk in this thing right quick. Again, link is in the chats. I'll send it one more time for everybody, even though I just sent it. Oh yeah, here we go. Boom, there you go. Make sure y'all check the comments. There it is right there. Get my man Hawk in this thing right quick. Boom. And
good morning.
Down. There you go. There you go. What's going on, Hawk? How you feeling, bruh?
Man, all is well, man. Mom, man, thanks for having me on, man. Hey, look at here. Everybody that's watching, man, you make sure you practice your YouTube etiquette. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Yeah, man. Hey, look, Trapper die, man. Morning Trappers, man. You know what I'm saying? We in here.
Good morning, Trappers.
Good morning, Trappers.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Man.
How's everything going for you though, man? You up, bro? You had your cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? You ready to get this day started?
Yes, sir, man. Hey, look, Mom, man. Let me tell you something, man. You don't. Hey, look, now, earlier, you just said that excuse me, Dakota, your dog is antsy. That's how I feel about this game. That's how that's how everybody should feel about this game. Because first and foremost, my first question to you: How in the world? I mean, does the betting lines have the Lions favored over Washington? And how you feel about that? Is overall.
How do I feel about that? I mean, to be honest with you, well, Hawk, let me ask you. Are you a gambler? Like, do you dabble a little bit, or you don't touch it at all?
Well, so look, man. As you know, I do the survivor pool. So I mean, so like on a week-to-week basis, I pick one game. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And if all of my picks, happen to make it, you know what I'm saying? I survive to the next week. So it's one game per week, but the pot is big. The pot is big, and so my thing is, though, the way you just did this film breakdown. I'm like, yo, I want to take Washington so bad, but I'm like, but bro, I mean,
we gotta mesh the good with the bad, though. I mean, obviously, right? Yeah. That's the problematic side, but I think the good thing is what we showed on Wednesday. There was some good things that came out of that game, but unfortunately, we just happened to start Friday off with like, okay, I should have done this Wednesday, but here's the bad. This is what we really got problems with. So yeah, to your point, I mean that it is a little nerve wracking, but ultimately there was some good things that came out of the game. You just hope that it can ultimately come together from an entire standpoint, like from a front end to the back end type of thing. But floor is yours, man. What was you finna say?
Yeah. No, I mean, well, you know what? Whether you did it Wednesday or Friday, or today, The fact of the matter is the way. I mean, honestly, man, the way. The way that you just helped our eyes see, the inefficiencies within the defense. You know what I'm saying? That mind you, we just lost Big Phil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just lost Big Phil. You know what I'm saying? So our defensive line is still not there. Chase Young is still not going to be there. And then the other thing, that I kind of thought about, I was like, look, I know we're getting Cole Turner back. To my knowledge, I think we get Logan Thomas back as well.
Logan playing, he good.
Yeah,
but Cole Turner, he's the one that's coming back.
But so it's like my thing is with all of those guys coming back on offense, how in the world does that still cover, I guess, our inefficiencies on the defense? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm kind of antsy about.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, because you asked about the spread initially. I asked if you was a gambler only because for me, I would tell you that it's no big deal. In terms of like actually being an underdog, it's no big deal because Washington is not too many games where they are favorites. But when it comes to Detroit, there's a couple things into the line. Like I think that the line indicates that they're an evenly matched team. Yeah. This is a game that's really a toss-up. You get favored for being at home, and nowadays favorites, like the traditional thought is favorites get the automatic 3 points, like 3-point favorites when they're at home. But nowadays, like if you don't have a true home field advantage, that can be 2.5 or 2 points. So it's not necessarily a huge deal that they're a favorite. I think what would have been alarming in terms of like a positive sign for Washington is if they were actually the favorites on the road. It's not like Washington, again, as we've said it 1,000 times. Like some people did say 12. I saw some people in the chat and in my comments say like they thought that this was a really good team. They can see 12 wins from Washington. But my point is, what would have been surprising is if they were favorites on the road. But ultimately, like they just view them as a fairly even team, a really even matchup, and it can really go either way. That's what that 2 points indicates to me. And then you get down into the nuances of the game and actually, where the strengths and weaknesses are. But from a betting standpoint, they just view them as an evenly matched team, and it really comes down to, who's going to make the least mistakes in this instance. Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, man. I mean, like you said, it's a good thing to know that, you know what I'm saying. It's the 3 points. When the 3 points are given, matter of fact, it's automatically given to a default to the home team. So I'm like, all right, but I'm like, you know what? But this week for my survivor pick, I think I'm gonna go and roll with Washington. I'm gonna go roll with the squad, huh?
Look, I was about to say for your survival team, you want to do Washington? Like I said, we said it's a toss-up game. You want to do? Nah, you got other games out there,
I know, bro, but week one was so crazy, man. And then the fact that I picked Jacksonville that first week, and I know Washington almost lost it. But I know Alex. Hey, look, Alex. I should have rolled with Alex. You know what I'm saying? and look, Alex, man, if you listening, man, you better hop in there and come on this stream with me, man. Because I ain't gonna lie, the fact, dog, man. The fact that Washington when they pulled it off, and then the other thing is, of Jahan Dawson, he got a new nickname for me. It's Jahan Solo Dawson. You know what I'm saying? That's his new nickname. You know what I'm saying? Star Wars reference.
Solo.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's his new nickname.
Well, I think what's really going to be so two things.
Yeah.
My one opinion, obviously, when it comes to gambling, I never force people to think a certain way. You do what you got to do. And survivor pick. But I would suggest stay away from Washington and Detroit if you're a little nervous. Just stay away from that game. Try and find another matchup, find another team. You may need to save Washington for what might be a layup later in the season. But my opinion, if you're a little nervous about Washington, stay away from that game this week and try to find another opportunity. Do what you want to do. I ain't here to influence you. That's just my opinion. But that's the first thing. The second thing is this offense for Washington, I think, is in a good position from a skill standpoint. Is in a good position to capitalize this week. You mentioned Jahan, man, Han Solo.
Solo, man.
He is a really impressive player, man. I liked him from the jump. I think there's some things to work on, as he continues on in the pros. But from an overall standpoint, I think that he can really make some plays. We talked about it earlier this week about like what do we think about the weapons, but who are you most confident in against the Detroit Lions? Like on the offensive side of football, is there anybody in particular that you're most confident in that's going to come out and have a big day?
Yeah. So I mean, I know I just touched on Han Solo. You know what? Honestly, he would be my obvious choice because 2 touchdowns from a rookie receiver. When the last time we ever saw that here? You know what I'm saying? From a guy that we drafted. You know what I'm saying? I mean, matter of fact, I don't even think Terry had that many touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? But you know though, I'm not gonna say Han Solo. You know what though? But I am gonna look upon Curtis Samuel to go ahead and follow up what he did week 1 though. You know what I'm saying? Curtis. I mean, and my second one my second one on offense, Antonio Gibson. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for him because Antonio Gibson because ultimately, I mean Detroit, they did give up a lot of points. They gave up a lot of points to a Philly, man. So I'm like this. Yeah, I mean Gibson, you said this is another game where you can gain your confidence running the football, securing the football, and things like that. So those are my 2 guys.
Here's another misconception since we're talking about points too. I want people to be aware of like the NFL fluctuates from a weekly basis. Like you're never always like, of course, there are some teams who are just on fire and they're good football teams, but don't let it fool you that just because a team scored 35 points against a perceived good defense, don't let that think that offense that scored 35 points in a loss is going to come back and automatically be some dog ass offense against a Washington defense who struggles or a team that struggles. Like week 1 is the epitome of week 1. You never know what's going to happen, what corrections can be made, and how you can fix things, and things like that. So when people talk about like, hey, they scored 35 on now, I personally, like I said, I predict a high scoring game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that my prediction translates in every situation. Like I just think personally, like this could be a high scoring game. But altogether, don't always think because they scored 35 one week that means that they're against a perceived good defense that they're automatically going to put up some points and make it look easy. That was probably like some week 1 things and situations like that. And even in other areas in the NFL, like who was it? Kansas City Chiefs scored 30 against the Cardinals, a perceived good team. And the pick six really ultimately helped them win the game, but they didn't score. They had issues against the Chargers, like the very next week. So so like I just think it's important for people to understand that side too. Like Washington has a chance, and they have some things that are very much correctable from a communication and assignment standpoint. Like the thing that I showed about William Jackson, that is problematic. But you can't fix that. Like you can't fix a person who ain't sure himself or is getting his cushion eaten up like that, and he's getting felt uncomfortable. Like you gotta hope that he can trust his technique. But if a person's like that getting ate up, I don't think you can really fix that much. But outside of that, a lot of things are correctable, Hulk.
Yeah. Well, you know what, a Maul, man, I just hope that this coaching staff, you know, and even the players, man, I hope that everybody's, collaborating, film study, practice time, man, walkthroughs, just, everybody just make sure that, whatever popped out, far, so, what did I do wrong? And, and what could I do to go ahead and correct these mistakes? To go ahead and reverse those bad habits into good habits. You know what I'm saying? I hope they all on it because guess what? 2-0, it is attainable, but they got to go ahead and put it in the lab, during practice time and film session. So.
Well, let's hear your prediction then, man. You said it's attainable. Yeah. are they winning? Now you said you was gonna bite the bullet on your survivor pool and pick Washington, but that
Yes,
was not very confident. A very confident statement from you. So I'm gonna ask you, what's your score prediction? Who wins, obviously, and who is going to be your MVP for the Detroit Lions and Washington Commanders game?
Yeah. So, oh man, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what, man, because we scored 28 points. You know, what I'm saying, in the first game, right? We scored 28, and that was the most points I've ever seen in a Week 1 game from us. So that was, saying, that was a good thing. So, obviously, our offense is going to lead the charge. So, I'll say 35 for Washington. You know what I'm saying? 35 for Washington, maybe 21 Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you got them winning with a little cushion.
Yeah.
Right.
MVP for Washington. MVP for Washington. You know what? I said his name earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Antonio Gibson, man. Because it's one of those things where because our defense, is not as sharp right now. We got to go ahead and take time off the clock. So Antonio Gibson, man, it's your time to shine, man. MVP. You know what I'm saying? Over 100 yards rushing. Maybe, heck, you might have 75 receiving. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have
175 all-purpose. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This man is going to have. You know, he's going to have fantasy holders like, yeah, I put him in the game.
That's not a bad one. Antonio Gibson, I think that honestly, this is probably a situation where the running backs are going to have to thrive again in the pass game. Detroit is I said this yesterday on the podcast, but Detroit is really they're an aggressive defense, and what that means, like they send 5+ a lot. They sent 5+ a lot against Philadelphia, and I don't know if that had a lot to do with who the quarterback was and trying to mitigate his or negate his mobility and keep him in the pocket, but he was still able to escape those 5-man and 6-man and 7-man pressures for the most part, or even get the ball out of his hands. So it really comes down to how they truly feel about pressuring quarterbacks, because if they can do that again this week, you're not facing a mobile quarterback. You're not or you're not facing that much of a mobile quarterback. A lot of people don't remember, or maybe it doesn't go talked about a lot. I shouldn't say that people don't remember, but Carson Wentz, he's mobile in the sense of like he can run and he can use his legs, but he's not a guy who relies on it. He doesn't want to run. So if he can stay in the pocket as long as he can, that's what he'll do. And Detroit is facing a guy who's essentially 2-3 times less than what Jalen Hurts is as a mobile quarterback. And that's kind of where it's like that pressure, while they didn't get too much pressure last week, like they were 22nd in the NFL in pressure, even though they blitzed like 49% of the time on Philly's dropbacks. This is going to be something where it's like, all right, let's try it again, and let's hope we get home against a quarterback who ain't as mobile as Jalen Hurts. And that's going to be really important for the offensive line, but also when I talked about Antonio Gibson, why I think that he's a key component, running back like him, to win in the pass game, whether it's coming out of the backfield from a flats perspective or actually running a route out of the backfield. That's going to be very important because he's going to have to win immediately, as well as Jahan and Terry. Right. Like those are going to be some big pieces for this game.
Man, Han Solo, man, Terry, man, look at here, man. I mean, all that, include our rookie, man, Cole Turner. Y'all just got to consistently win the matchups. Consistently win the matchups for me, man. That's all I need y'all to do.
He may really be a mismatch on the field this Sunday. I'm interested to see how they use him. Logan Thomas, like I said, he was like on that one pass where he was free down the field and turned up field and tried to fake hurdle a dude. He was running his hardest and only got to like 14 miles an hour. Like comparatively speaking to other players, like they're reaching 17, 18, maybe even 19. Some reach 20 miles an hour, and he's at his max speed is reaching 14. And I say all that to say like he ain't fully there yet. And if you can have Cole Turner in the position where he can take advantage of those same looks, then maybe you got something going. especially in this offense, but especially with Cole Turner as being a true mismatch. He's 6'7", man. Who the fuck is going to line up against him and,
you know what I'm saying?
and really play with him at the catch point? I don't think they can do that.
Nobody. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
it's
game
definitely
at this
gonna be a good
weekend.
game. Yeah.
You in the crib with it?
No. Matter of fact, Maul, you know what? Real quick plug. Hey, look, man. On a Protex community tab, man. He's inviting, he's inviting whomever to go ahead and join him out there, Proper 21, man, up in DC.
Oh, I know about that spot. What's it? Wait, Proper 21. That's like in
K Street.
H Street. Yeah, I'm about to say K Street. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a bad spot, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, ball, man, come through that, Joe, man, if you can, man.
I'm about to say if I can, my Sundays are with the, I got the post game streams, so I really gotta. If he does that throughout the season, I just gotta make sure, that opportunity is right for your boy.
Facts.
That's all that is, man. But definitely enjoy your weekend, Hulk. I don't know what you got going on today, man, but stay safe. Enjoy your Friday as well.
Oh, man.
If you're having a drink this weekend, have a drink or two for your boy.
Oh, hey, look, already, man, already.
Yes, sir, big dog. You stay safe, bro. Appreciate you.
Right,
appreciate you chopping it up with me too.
Hey, man, no doubt, man. Anytime, man. Trapper, hey, look, more than trappers. Go ahead, man.
Yeah,
Let's go.
The morning trappers, man. Let's get it.
Let's
get it. Appreciate you, dog. Let's go ahead and get back to this thing right quick. So here's my guy, right? I showed this on Twitter, but let's get back to let's show it on here, right? This is my ultimate weapon for Detroit. This my guy right here. You know who this guy is. You know who this guy is.
Culture made it here, boy.
This the problem child right here. This the problem child right here. That boy quick. Ooh. Hey man. I really like DeAndre Swift, but I'm not gonna lie to you. DeAndre Swift. Hey, let's hear some more. By the way, let's hear some more predictions, man. Score, final score, MVP, what happens in the game. I want to make sure I get everybody's opportunity before we get up out of here, man. What's them final scores? Talk to me. But my key, or my for defense, obviously is DeAndre Swift, man. He's the ultimate weapon. If he can help Jared Goff out, that's gonna be a headache for the defense. You have to find a way. To make sure your best cover guys are on him in certain situations. If you have that 11 personnel that we mentioned, right, that Buffalo nickel is going to be very important, especially if Cam Curl is back. But even if Cam Curl isn't back, you have to find a way to get Percy Butler on the field more. And he'll probably end up playing that Buffalo nickel because they said that Derek Forrest is more comfortable up top and coming down to help in run support versus playing it in the box. So Percy Butler probably played that Buffalo nickel role, and personally speaking, he ain't that good in run support. So they're still going to challenge Washington if you have a box, a 4-1-6 with Percy Butler aligned next to Cole Holcomb. But DeAndre Swift, ultimately, you have to find a way to contain him. You have to tackle, because that boy is Swift. He's like Curtis Samuel in terms of his agility and lateral quickness, all that stuff. Got to wrap up. You got to find a way to contain him. And then if you can contain him and wrap up and make sure that he doesn't break off any big plays, you're in good shape against the Jared Goff. And that's where I'm at. I think offensively, again, I think Jahan Dotson could have a big day. I lightly touched on it yesterday in the podcast, but from an actual scheme standpoint, it'll be interesting to see how they move him around, whether it's the motion man as a Z receiver, which is off the ball, stacked alignments. That also helps against press coverage. You're not able to touch those receivers, right? So your stacked alignments where you have a receiver up on the line of scrimmage and you have him, obviously, the second receiver behind him, like slightly behind him off the ball. That second receiver is going to be able to win through certain coverages, or through certain route concepts and route patterns, helping your quarterback out things like that, but you have to win through the route running. And I think Jahan Dotson is probably the cleanest, who can get the quickest separation. Terry McLaurin can get separation, but I think that he struggles in terms of like the quick one. Like sometimes it's tight coverage because he rushes, he runs a lot of routes at full speed. And Jahan Dotson, he sets up from a full body standpoint, from his head to his shimmy to his legs to change the direction. And I think that's what really forces some stress, or puts some stress on the defenders that's checking him. So I think Jahan Dotson could really have a big day in week 2 as well against the Detroit Lions. I can see a 100-yard day for Jahan Dotson. And I don't know who else is going to work off that, but the focal point will probably be trying to make sure that because Jeff Okudah, the Detroit Lions safety, cornerback, excuse me. Jeff Okudah had a really good day against Devontae Smith, but Jeff Okudah, I think, primarily lined up on the boundary. I don't think he had any slot. I'm about to double check too, but I don't think he had any slot looks for Detroit. I'm about to double check in 2 seconds. Make sure this thing is. Let's see. Where are they at? Oh shoot, depth chart. That's what I meant to do. I'm looking at the wrong spot. Detroit. And then we have DB. All right, so Jeff Okudah, he had like 3%, or damn near 20% of them in the slot, but he primarily played as the boundary corner. He actually traveled too. So that's probably some situations where you see Terry McLaurin line up against Jeff Okudah. You'll probably see some looks where Jahan Dotson is lined up against Jeff Okudah, because you're not going to have him primarily in the slot. But Jeff Okudah is probably the match where you're like, all right, we're going to challenge him, but we're not focused on him. We're focused on people after Jeff Okudah. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Jahan Dotson has to win. I think he will win. I think he'll have a big day against the Detroit Lions. Does it contribute to a win? We'll see. Personally, I have us winning. I have Washington winning 31-27 or 33-27, I think was my score. I think Washington, while I think that they have opportunities to correct their issues, the reason why I don't give them the benefit of the doubt, they have to show me, and I think that, again, in theory they can, it's very correctable, but they have to show me, because we've seen these issues last year. So what gives me confidence that they can do it, right? Show me, and maybe things change. 33-27 Washington. Washington goes 2-0, and we are on the Philly. We on the Philly, baby. Hey, but listen, I'm gonna go and get up out of here. Appreciate y'all checking in. I appreciate y'all chopping it up with me in the chat, on YouTube, on Twitter. On Twitch. Appreciate you, Hawk, for checking in and joining the show. Schedule-wise, we're back Sunday, post-game, right after the game. You can find us right here, AJ, Dre, myself, chopping it up about the game. We'll take a call or two and get your initial thoughts on the game as well. I can't wait to see what the outcome is. Hopefully Washington is 2-0. And then obviously the morning show will be back on Monday morning. And we will be able to talk a little bit more about the game that just happened. So y'all enjoy y'all weekend, man. Enjoy y'all Friday. If y'all haven't started work yet, wake that ass up and get busy. Get busy, man. I'm about to get back to work on my side. So y'all be safe, man. Enjoy y'all weekend, all that good stuff. Peace.